Conversation with Anil Agarwal of the Vedanta Group. Mr. Agarwal, always a pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us. Let me start by asking you about what you make of the verdict that's come in from the state elections, and in the context of Rajasthan, which of course is the heart of your investment activity in India. What does the regime change mean for you?
We are as far as I'm concerned, we are one of the largest investors in Rajasthan, and Rajasthan is a very special place. I know I have always seen the people like to change the regime. It's always the case. So for me,
but is that good for business?
I think whoever come, business has to be the priority. Rajasthan can feed the whole India, which has a huge reserve of oil, huge reserve of minerals below the ground. What you have in Rajasthan, nowhere in India. And I saw the statement of Sachin Pilot, which is saying that he's going to encourage the small businessmen, which is a great encouraging, because I have always said that the Rajasthan has a lot of stone, Rajasthan has a lot of limestone, Rajasthan has, and this is small trader and the company should be encouraged to do the exploration, to develop their own mine, and which is very encouraging. If we and I always said there should be hundreds of companies in Rajasthan which should produce stone all over the world where the building is made. The stone should go from Rajasthan. Okay,
but let me ask you this. You've had your disagreements with the government over royalty, for instance, when we talk specifically about exploration in Rajasthan. What would your expectation be from the new government?
I think fundamental to give a priority for natural resource. And the people who can deliver should talk to them and double the production. The fundamental is doubling the production. If the production is double.
We've had this conversation several times in the past, and you keep saying that this is your aspiration to double production in India. You don't want India to be import dependent, whether it's minerals or oil and gas. But we've not moved the needle. I mean, even if we look at oil and gas, in the April to September period in 2018, imports have gone up to 83% versus 82.6% year on year.
This is very, very unfortunate. Even if you see the coal, it is a time which is the whole world make India as a dumping ground. I'm alone last 10 years saying below the ground is a huge potential, huge potential, and we should give a free hand. Only thing which we have to be very, very cautious about is environment. And today technology has come whereby we can, by producing, we can do the better environment.
So are you disappointed then, because decision was taken by the government to allow commercial mining, for instance? Are you disappointed that no forward movement has taken place on that front?
This is very unfortunate again. India, we have only one company, Coal India, which supply all the coal. And government intention was phenomenal. They wanted to have at least 100 mines and 100 companies to come and do the mining. And that would have changed India. Today, so many power plants are shut down. There's so much of requirement of coal, but not a single mine been working.
Has it hurt your operations? Because while the power sector, of course, struggles on account of coal supply, what about the non-power sector? People like you, are you also now being constrained because of the access to coal?
Absolutely. We have to import coal, also import power. And we have been importing power, you will not believe, at 8 rupees. Last few months, we are bleeding. And now that we have worked with the government, we work with the Coal India, things are improving. But very unfortunate, we should be, is a national priority to make sure these things come as easy to mine, easy to access, to produce more coal.
So, we've gone up another 20 odd places as far as the ease of doing business is concerned in the World Bank ranking. Yet I hear from you, someone who's invested to the tune of about $4.5–5 billion in India over the last few years, saying that whether it's in oil and gas or it's in mining or it's access to coal, life hasn't gotten any better.
No, to correct you, we have invested over $40 billion.
No, I said in the last few years.
No, in last few years.
Okay.
In last 7 to 8 years, we have invested almost $35-40 billion, and all the money we have brought in from the abroad. I'm very nationalist, and you will be surprised. Just imagine how much tax I have given in last 3 years in this regime. Never ever been paid by any government company, any private company. I have paid 1,60,000 crore taxes. These are the money which required for the government. If the company like Vedanta, if there are 5, 7, 10 companies, the whole economy change. The kind of horsepower you have, when this kind of income comes to the government, they can develop the infrastructure, they can bring the equity. And the other thing which is so important for me today, whatever you say, our backbone is our public sector. Whether it's a public sector company, whether it's a public sector bank, and these are so capable. The companies like public sector, there is nowhere in the world.
So you're saying that you're not a big believer in privatizing these public sector companies, even though you in fact took over 2 public sector companies in the past regime of the NDA.
Most important thing is that they must work with the fullest potential, and they have a potential to produce at least 4 times. At least 4 times. So that will change India, because that will increase 4 times more employment. Downstream, hundreds of industry will come. So this is so important to public sector. So
I ask you then, that you are a big believer in having a strong public sector. You're a big believer in having many companies the size and scale of Vedanta across various sectors in India. This was a government that came in with a majority, with the political mandate for change. Today, do you believe that there has been a gap between potential promise and delivery on the ground?
No, if you see, I definitely believe what happened in GST was a fantastic move. People are not realizing GST will be very helpful, because it gives a very easy, and it's a big move. All over the world, people appreciate.
In the long term, it's a positive for India.
It's a positive.
Demonetization?
I have a mixed view. I don't know. I'm not on the ground, but I hear both the report. But the people on the ground are not happy, because they had suffered like anything. But but few things which government has done, like
IBC,
banking.
Yeah.
Like the way this is amazing amendment has come, it requires some clarification. But at least people will think 10 times to taking money from the bank.
Yes.
It has to be proper use. Is a hard-hardened public money.
Absolutely.
And they definitely has brought in this law, and this will help India in the long run.
So you've picked up electro steel through the process of the IBC. You tried for SR steel, but that's a current battle that's now gone to the courts, and it's between your friend Ellen Mittal and SR steel. But as far as electro steel is concerned, what's the plan now? What can we expect you to do with electro steel?
No, one thing is that the plant has made so beautiful, and I really appreciate the way this plant has been constructed. My vision in that area, we have grown up. I come from Bihar. I'm come from Bihar.
I know.
And I have grown seeing Bokaro. That was our Bokaro, and for me, I will deliver another Bokaro in Jharkhand. And I'm looking forward what I can give back to my state, because that's very, very important. I will create another Bokaro, and that's the base we have got, and I will do tooth and nail to make sure complete operation. I must create 30 to 40,000 jobs through electro steel in Jharkhand.
Okay, so that's a big headline, that you want to recreate Bokaro in Jharkhand through electro steel, the investment that you've made via the IBC process. But if you can give me some sort of tangible timelines in terms of what kind of extra investments you intend to put in, how soon we can expect capacity to be added, what's the plan now?
You have seen how we work. I can talk overhaul Vedanta. I think you are going there. For me, my priority is oil and gas. My priority is oil and gas. Again, we are very determined people, and I'm really looking. When I got this field at Rajasthan, everybody said there is nothing. We are producing almost 30% of the country oil. I must congratulate you saying reform. The way the biggest reform I would say in my what I can see is the petroleum ministry. This ministry has really opened up. There used to be 60 clearances required before you open the ground. They have brought it down to 6.
Okay.
And they have going big way because they have realized that we have a 70 billion barrel of oil reserve, and I'm the real ambassador. I'm going to every oil company and saying, come to India. And my vision in short term to produce 500,000 barrel.
What is short term, sir?
3 years, 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. And what needs to be done for you to ensure that you actually achieve that target? Because you've had this aspiration for a while, as I pointed out.
No, we have placed order. We have already pipelined $2.5 billion order, and the largest site in the world for the oil exploration is going in Rajasthan. You'll be surprised that we have 16 rigs are running in and then the offshore in KG. The rigs are running. Massive work is going. I'm so determined to make oil in the country, and my vision is to make 1 million barrel in the country. So oil sector is one.
Okay.
I'm very bullish on aluminium. Aluminium is the hardcore of India. You know, you don't import anything. From the clay you produce the aluminium. We have the best bauxite, we have the best coal, and we set up the plant. We invested almost $12-13 billion. You know, Niyamgiri to Jharkhand to Balco. And I'm looking forward. The aluminium sector, we produce 3 million ton of aluminium.
You know, you named Niyamgiri, and I remember the now Congress President Rahul Gandhi in his earlier avatar had taken you on, and Niyamgiri had in a sense become a way to attack big business on part of Rahul Gandhi. Have you had any meetings with the Congress President recently? Do you intend to reach out to him now that the Congress is in Rajasthan, which is your nerve center, so to speak?
Now, beautifully said. I tell you, the perception change. You know, we all think for our country good. There was a perception one time that doing the mining is bad for the country. It is not my perception. It was a general perception. Today everything has changed. Today everybody in India think the Mother Earth below the earth. We have to explore. 10 years back, 15 years back, the perception was that no, including you, including everybody, every journalist, was thinking the mining is bad. Not a single person.
No, sustainable mining is what people want. Unsustainable mining still is an issue and a big challenge, and rightfully so.
There is no question that anybody do unsustainable mining. There is no question. We cannot play with our Mother Earth. It's like our body. If you want to do the operation, if you want to do the right thing, the right way to do it. The right way to do it, we need our copper, we need our aluminium, we need our oil and gas. It does not come from the sky. It has to be produced. And today India has the biggest geology to produce this natural resource. So the perception has changed.
But has the perception really changed? And I'll ask you this in the context of what we've seen happen with both Goa, where there has been a setback as far as the mining is concerned, as well as Tuticorin, which now the matter is currently in the NGT. So perception, I'm not so sure, has changed. But what can you, as a company who believes that it is your responsibility to ensure that mining is sustainable, it is friendly to the environment, how can you ensure and make people believe that that is what you're doing? Because that isn't the perception today.
You have no idea. Today we got the award where we have been awarded not in India, in the world, where we have been awarded that we are, the way we do the mining, environmental friendly #1. That was one internationally. Yesterday we got 4 awards. Whereby the way we do the oil and gas production and the mining is unparalleled, the way we do the technology. But I'm with you that India, what has happened in Goa, in Tuticorin, the world cannot play with us, use our democracy and let the import grow.
No, but you keep coming back to this, and the suggestion seems to be, or the insinuation seems to be, that there are vested interests. Whether they are political vested interests or corporate vested interests, I don't know, but that is what you seem to suggest or insinuate. But if you use the example of Goa, I mean, the matter has gone to the Supreme Court. These are Supreme Court orders that the government is now being forced to comply with. Whether you look at Tuticorin and you look at what's happened with Sterlite, once again, there are court orders. There's the NGT order that currently the matter is now being heard once again at the National Green Tribunal. And they point out that there have been errors. Whether these have been, errors out of negligence or out of complicity, that's a different story altogether. But do you admit and acknowledge today that perhaps there needs to be a review of the way in which things have been done?
We need, number one, Goa has nothing to do with the environment. It is a policy whereby they say that after 50 years, the mine has to be re-auctioned, which is absolutely wrong. In the world, mine is never changed the ownership. Never, ever, anywhere in the world. Because mine is not forever. Whatever the mine material is, you exhaust that material. It can take 10 years, it can take 20 years, whatever. Why they take the mine if you flout with the environment and if you are a defaulter? In Goa, very unfortunate. It is not me. There are all the 3 lakh people are suffering.
Yes, it's not specific to you. It's not specific to you.
For me,
it's for the entire industry.
Tuticorin, and this is not even 1% of my business. But for my country in Tuticorin, day one I said, I really looking any kind of, they want to do the due diligence, find out, because I believe that we run our plant in the highest. Because for me, there is no question flouting the rule.
So let me ask you this then, that given the setbacks that you've seen, whether it's Goa or Tuticorin, albeit as you pointed out, it's a small part of your revenue mix at this point in time. What is the investment plan for India, given the fact that you've also just won 41 of these small marginal fields that have been put on auction? So what's the investment outlook then for India?
It was not a marginal, it was a big block. I'm very bullish, and I'm looking forward this 41 block. How do we further? I estimate that that will give me about 500,000 barrel of oil.
Okay.
Which is a large, very, very large, and we have already started working. The people are coming. The data room, I believe, within 14-15 months, we'll start work on the ground.
So that's the hope and that's the plan at this point in time. But you believe in the next 14 to 15 months, most of these 41 blocks you will get off the ground, so to speak.
We'll put the shovel on the ground.
You'll put the shovel on the ground. I want to talk to you about another High Court order.
That also, especially, I'm very bullish on Assam.
Okay.
I want to change the Assam economy. I'm really looking forward. I got a block there, and I'm really looking. The first oil was produced in Dibrugarh. And I'm looking forward in the world. And I'm looking forward how I can change the economy there.
Okay,
and I'm looking thousands of people in employment.
Jharkhand is an area of focus. Rajasthan, of course, has been an area of focus. Assam is going to be an area of focus. Where else in India is Anil Agarwal?
We have in the 10 state largest employer.
Yeah.
Whether you take Chhattisgarh, whether you take Odisha, whether you take Goa, whether you take Tamil Nadu, every state is run by the people, for the people. What we have done below the ground, nobody can stop us. Because this is not my company, it's an institution, which has to be part and parcel of the economy. I'm too small.
Globally, let me ask you about what you see as far as prices are concerned. What's the outlook for aluminum, for instance, for copper? Where do you see prices headed over the next few months?
I think there is no new production is coming on the ground. No new production is coming on the ground. And I find very stability on the price. I'm not looking any. Copper is very good. Copper should remain around 6,500 to 7,000. Aluminum should jump off another $200.
Oil?
Oil. Again, I was with the Prime Minister meeting and the Aramco chairman and the Exxon chairman and the BP chairman. We all talk about, and government very strongly said that we can't afford $80 price, and we are the largest importer of the oil and going to be the largest importer of the oil. You people decide the price. You have the OPEC, and you have to have a reasonable price.
Yeah.
And I see the price has come down.
So what is the outlook at this point in time? Where do you expect? Do you believe
$60 to $70?
60 to 70.
Yes.
That's what you see. Unlikely to be any surprises that the market will have to deal with.
I think so. I was thinking the price should be about 50, but I think price will be about $60 to $70.
Okay. You didn't answer my question if you've had any conversation with the Congress President Rahul Gandhi and whether you intend to reach out to the Congress, because they're now in Chhattisgarh, in Rajasthan, and in Madhya Pradesh.
They are our leader, and whoever are come and run the country, we are the largest revenue earner for them. We're the largest employer. And we can always tell them what is good in very transparent manner. They have their own view. We can only say as much as we can say. Why should they run the business? They have no business to be in the business.
They have no business being in business, and yet they continue to hold on to their residual stake in Hindustan Zinc and Valco.
And the other public sector. So they have to...
So while you believe that a strong public sector is needed, you believe that government should not be in business?
No, I'm not saying government should be in public sector. They have to find a way whether they can give them an autonomous position. Like giving Anil Agarwal is not the solution. That can be 20%. But 80% business has to be like a G.
So you're saying that bring down government shareholding below 51% in most public sector institutions, most public sector entities?
Why not?
And so hold on to the residual stake as they have done in Hindustan Zinc and Valco.
Or even if they want to remain 60% with the condition that no retrenchment will take place, because we cannot afford to retrenchment. Nobody can hold more than 10% share. Let the professional CEO comes, and board should not be appointed by the government.
Okay.
It should be autonomous, high-class board, and they should drive the business. See what will happen. So,
are you looking at any other distressed assets at this point in time, or you're happy with Electro Steel and that's what you want to focus on?
We are progressive people, and whatever come, whether the mine comes, whether anywhere we see the opportunity, our hands are full at the time, because but India opportunity will come.
So, as a investor, long-term investor into India, a lot of people are now talking about the 2019 elections and whether the result that we've seen in the state elections can be extrapolated to mean that it might be a much more of an open contest for 2019. Does political uncertainty weigh on the minds of people like you?
In a democratic country and country like India, we are not Argentina, we are very, very strong country. You have seen 1.4 billion people, nothing will happen to the country. I 100% sure a strong leader comes with a very open mind. I like the way Bajpayee ruled open up, and he used to say that if Bajpayee would have been here, I don't think government would have been any business. Narasimha Rao would have been there. There is no question. How? Because it's
but Mr. Modi came with the promise of maximum governance and minimum government. So you're saying that promise has not been delivered on?
He probably didn't get enough time. He also always said red carpet, not red tapeism. He says $5 trillion economy, which has to come from the business. He started saying that government should not be in the business, no business to be in a business. He said all this.
Yeah.
And he was.
But you're seeing public sector entities merging with public sector entities, becoming larger public sector entities.
Yeah, it's a question of time. It's a question of time. I don't think India, time will come, we don't have to go to the bureaucrat. It will be all, that the system will work. The system will work. And I'm looking forward that day where India, including the electronic, we have to import $150 billion of import. I was very keen to start the TV glass, the substrate glass for the telephone, and We are working. I'm very keen.
Well, Ms. Agarwal, we wish you the very best of luck with both your business as well as non-business interests, and we do hope that both continue to prosper. Especially, I do hope that the non-business side does scale up and prosper. Thanks very much for your time, and we appreciate you speaking to us here on CNBC TV 18.
Thank you, Shareen. Thank you very, very much.
Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up the CNBC TV 18 special from all of us here. Goodbye.